an opportunity to get involved with a horse, Richo.
Oh, perfect.
Because it's not going to cost you much, okay?
Right.
miRunners, $176. So you and I could go halves.
Yeah.
Here's the story.
Thirds.
There's a couple of million people that go to the races every year, and incredibly only 100,000 of them own today.
What is the philosophy of miRunners?
So miRunners is all about empowering the everyday Australian to leapfrog into the top end of the sport. So there's 1,000 per horse. We cap it at 20 as a limit because
20 units.
20 units
is the maximum.
Is the maximum, yeah.
So that there's not one power block.
That's right. Yeah, this is about participating in teams. The day that we as a group and 500 owners together knock off Jerry Harvey, or they knock off a sheik, knock off a billionaire, that's a day when, as a team, we've done something pretty special. So our lowest price horse, the bottom of our range, was a Written Tycoon filly that we actually thought we'd have to pay $300,000 for. We managed to get her for $160,000. We add GST to that, so that's $176,000 she cost us. Divide that by 1,000 ownership units, and people can buy into that horse at $176. Yeah, it then costs you $15 a month for the first unit you buy. If you buy an additional units, every additional unit's an additional $5 a month. Literally, it's 1,000th of the cost, but 100% of the fun.
What's been the take-up?
We're getting an amazing response, and I think the reason we're getting such a response is people never thought that they would be able to own a horse with some of the biggest names in the industry. People that they've only ever seen on television and newspapers before, they're now getting messages in their updates from their heroes. They never thought they'd be able to own a $250,000 horse. This is making something that was unachievable, achievable, and it leapfrogs people into the top end of the sport. It brings people who weren't able to participate in the sport into the game.
With this miRunners, what are you doing to the sport of kings?
We'd like to think we're Australianising the sport of kings. The Australian has, since the Anzacs, taken on the top and competed with anyone. And the idea of miRunners is allowing everyday Australians to not just enter the sport, but enter it at the top level. And our dream is to see them winning on the big stage.
And we've seen the excitement today, haven't we, with the connections of Prince Fawaz and that win and what all that meant to them. Just pausing for one moment with the Brisbane Cup coming up.